third gear and you're 55 without even trying. There's a state trooper right there. Oh, fuck me. My mirrors are shaky. They don't hold it to adjust, they hold it to stabilize. That makes sense. I can get behind that. I have been working on the shittiest F-150 ever. I did not have a problem with Fords beforehand, but after working on this one, I can't even begin to explain. It just fucking sucks. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's been sitting for, I don't know, 5-10 years, I guess. And everything's rusty. It had no coolant in it. Like the guy I got it from, radiator hoses were pulled off of the radiator, so the radiator's dry, and the water pump was supposed to be leaking. But when I got the water pump off finally, after breaking half the bolts and swearing a lot, it after doing all that, I finally decided to just get rid of it. I mean, the freeze plugs were missing. It was missing one freeze plug on each side of the block for, I don't even know why. How do you lose a freeze plug? You had water in your block, it froze, expanded, popped the plugs out. Like that's just what that happens, you know? And I spent time putting a couple plugs in, went to test the block with a radiator pressure tester, hooked it up, found out the radiator's leaking. I was like, really? It's not one thing, it's another. Just constant problems. Every time I touched it, I found something else. After spending a few weeks on it, just, you know, a few hours here and there after work, I still didn't even know if the block was cracked or if I had to put an engine in it. Because when the freeze plugs popped out, you know? So I finally decided to just ship it out of my garage. We moved on to something else. I put all that on my Instagram. I've been taking photos and updates and making block off plates and finding the radiators broken and complaining on the internet there. I need little tank grippers for my legs here. I'm gonna rub the paint off of it, but I always have to grip onto the tank so I don't move around. Man, I'll tell you what, that Ford, it had so much potential, but it's such a headache. Not only, so I picked it up with the thoughts of, okay, water pump, because they said it was leaking, and it had a fast idle. Well, it has an idle air control valve on it. So I was thinking, okay, easy. It had 2 new tires on it, put a couple more tires on it. It's a dual tank system, drain both the tanks out, put fresh fuel in it, and be ready to rock. Like, that was my intention, that was it. But instead, I could not even pressurize the water pump to confirm that it was leaking because of the radiator hoses not being on there and the freeze plugs not being on there. I tried to flush the block, and that's how I figured out the freeze plugs were gone, because the water came out at the wrong hole. I have my cash can on the front ready to go in my garage, and I hook up my power flusher, and out comes the water behind the engine. Like, well, it's not behind, but it's at the back of it by the transmission. I'm just kind of baffled. What's going on here? Why is there water coming out back here? Yeah, freeze plug's missing. So I got bought a special tool, bought a couple freeze plugs, popped them in. Not a big deal, except for one freeze plug ate my tool and I had a hell of a time getting it back off. We got the block off plates made. I kind of, like a GM coolant surge tank threads on. It's got a special adapter for it. I took the special adapter I had for the GM surge tank and I stuffed it in one of my radiator hoses going to the block and put a couple hose clamps on. It held good enough to figure out that the radiator was leaking. And the timing cover behind the water pump, like the water pump bolts to the timing cover, and it also fastens to the oil pan, was leaking. And I had it. That broke the last straw. I was like, I'm done. I asked a bunch of coworkers, I'm like, hey guys, give me your opinions. What do you think? Is it worth it? I mean, these are the things going. It doesn't have any clear coat. It's mostly all there. I don't know the state of any of it. Brake pedal goes to the floor, so I mean that's not a good thing. The fluid's there. It's a little low, but it's there. Everybody just kind of agreed with me of cut your losses, sell it as is, post it cheap, let somebody come make an offer on it. And it's not going super well. I mean, I've had it post for a week and I've had a couple people ask about it. Nothing like serious. One trade for some vintage firearm that it's probably in the same boat. It's not ready to shoot. It's just like it's a talking piece. Like, hey, look at this. Ain't this neat? Like, I'm not about that. I need some cash or something I can get like direct enjoyment out of. Like another vintage motorcycle. I could do that. Well, they're not gonna want to stay around here tonight. We're supposed to have storms, more tornadoes.